There were times when there was a very powerful structure of politics, right? And when you're talking about, political art of the sort of 60s and 70s, you might be anti-establishment, you might be the emergence of, youth, or the sort of the challenge to the class system that's represented by the angry young men, or obviously when you have certain movements, or it's framed in a very powerful sense from as political censorship or a totalitarian system. But I think what Brad has brought up is something that's important, which is the concept of political subjectivity. What makes people understand themselves as political subjects, not with a political agenda, left or right or this, etc., but somehow engaged with a sense that this is their world. So this is a sort of, for me anyway, sort of Hannah Arendtian intuition. How do you belong to the polis? Because at the moment, politics doesn't exist. We have the economy. All the debate is between left and right is, are you going to give us less taxes, more taxes? You're going to do. As far as Hannah Arendt is concerned, we don't have a political sphere. So in one way, the theatre and art forms are, sites of that, where people come together and have the discussion. What kind of society do we live in? What kind of people we are, who we are. So when that is cut by the fact that we don't have the kind of political culture and consciousness that, let's say, was the legacy of the First World War, the Second World War, the 60s or 70s. What we're experiencing is a kind of an absence of a way of getting hold of this, and so violence becomes an interesting term when, if we have the sort of the things which you and I have been talking about, so the question of how do you produce peace, not because you stop violence, but it actually is something to be produced. And in some ways what's very interesting in theatre and drama is that you set up these terrible things, and awful things happen, and usually somebody has to die, but at the end, you produce a kind of peace, but it's the sort of sacrificial peace. There's always somebody has to suffer to achieve the point at which we can all go home. We'll talk a bit about this afternoon. So we have to think about what are the narratives that we've become accustomed to by the stories that our culture tells, the literature, the films, and these films, which involve this idea, which actually heighten the sense that is now kind of come to the surface, which is the language of politics in this apolitical field, is violence.